Okay, welcome back to the second part of converting. This is about the US system of measurement and how to convert from the US to the metric system. Just a couple of things about the US system. So in the US, we use a different system of measurement than most other countries, and we sometimes refer to the US system as a standard system of measurement or a household measurement system. So if you hear those, we're referring to here, like it says miles, yards, feet, inches for length, pounds, ounces, grains for mass, and then for volume, gallons, quarts, pints, cups, fluid ounces, tablespoons, and teaspoons. What I've collected here is just how to convert within the US system, which you don't really have to do. This is just so you have the numbers in case you need them. You see right away that it's much more complicated than the metric system. In the metric system, it's always 10, 100, or 1,000 because it's based on the number 10. The US system is based on all sorts of different numbers, which is why in medicine and in the health system, you generally deal with a metric system. So you will have to go from the US system into the metric system, and here's what you need to know. When converting between the US system and the metric system, these are the important bits. I focused on only the ones that you're most likely to need. For length, if you ever need it, you'll only need to go between inches and centimeters, where 1 inch is roughly the same as 2.5 centimeters. For mass, 1 kilogram is the same as 2.2 pounds. That's probably the one you'll need the most. In case you will have to deal with grains, 1 GR stands for 1 grain as opposed to 1 gram. Careful, gram, the metric unit gram is just a G. The apothecary unit grain is an older unit, rarely used, but if it ever comes up, it has the abbreviation GR, and 1 grain is roughly 60 milligrams. And then for volume, there's a few to know. 1 quart is roughly the same as a liter. 1 pint is roughly 500 milliliters. 1 fluid ounce is roughly 30 milliliters. 1 tablespoon is roughly 15 milliliters. And 1 teaspoon is roughly 5 milliliters. Of note is that these numbers are not exact. So if you were to Google, say for instance, a fluid ounce, you would get something that's not exactly 30, but 30 is the one that we use in the medical world. So stick with those whenever you have to convert. And now, how do you convert? Similar to the metric conversion, you basically either divide or multiply. And you will have to make 2 decisions. Say if I wanted to go from kilograms into pounds, if I go from kilograms to pounds, I would multiply by 2.2. If I wanted to go the other way, so if I wanted to go from pounds into kilograms, I would divide by 2.2. So the number that you either multiply or divide by is always this one here. Obviously, if you look at the other one, is always 1. A multiplication or a division by 1 doesn't do anything. So you need to know for each unit pairs, you need to know which number am I using, right? So you need to know if you're going between kilograms and pounds, the number is 2.2. If you go between tablespoons and milliliters, the number is 15. That's the first decision you got to make. And the second decision is which direction are you going? Because that is going to determine whether you're going to multiply or divide. If you have to remember this list, so to speak. You just have to learn it by heart. And then if you go from what I've written on the left to what I have written on the right, it's multiplication. If you go the other way, it's division. So here, going from tablespoons into milliliters, you multiply. If I wanted to go from milliliters into tablespoons, I would divide. Let's practice that before I let you do some exercises by yourself. So let's focus on the ones that you will actually need. Mass, for instance. 23 kilograms is how many pounds? Remember, I'm going between kilograms and pounds, so the number is 2.2. And now, is it multiply or divide? To go from kilogram to pounds, I multiply. 23 multiplied by 2.2 is going to give us 50.6. Now, if I want to go the other way, again, between pounds and kilograms, I know the number is 2.2. But in this case, I'm going the other way. I'm going from pounds into kilograms, which means I divide. And 150 divided by 2.2 is 68 point, and then you get 181818. You will have to cut that off at some point, unless you write that it's recurring. So this here would be the exact version. If you don't write it exactly, you're forced to round to either 1 or 2 decimal places. That's my advice. Okay, 5 grains into milligrams. If you recall, the number between grains and milligrams is 60. To go from grains into milligrams, we multiply by 60. 5 times 60 is 300. To go from milligrams into grains would be the opposite. So again, the number is 60, but in this case, I divide. And again, I will be forced to round. 250 divided by 60 is 4.16 recurring. If I round to 2 decimal places, it would be 4.17. Okay, let's do a few of these volume ones. From milliliter into fluid ounces, the conversion number between milliliter and fluid ounce is 30. From milliliter into fluid ounce, I divide, though. This will take some practice to know whether you multiply or divide. But once you have those numbers down, you'll find it easy after a while. From tablespoons to milliliters, the number is 15, and in this case, I'm going from tablespoon into milliliter. I multiply, so my answer here is 30. Let's do these last two as well. From milliliters to teaspoons, the number is 5, and I'm going from milliliters into teaspoons. So I'm dividing, which gives me 9 teaspoons. And then from fluid ounces into milliliters, I know my number is 30. And then from fluid ounce into milliliters, I multiply, so I'm going that way. And that's going to give me 225. So again, the 2 decisions that you have to make is what number am I using, and then do I multiply or do I divide? In order to know whether you multiply or divide, you just need to know that table that I showed you earlier. You need to know what's on the left and what's on the right. Okay, now your time to practice.